is officially spooky month. I was trying to do something better with the intro, but what is up, guys? This is Anthony with me once again. I'm finally going to be doing some horror movie reviews. And no, I am not going to have the Michael Myers mask on the whole time, but I am going to have that up the whole time. Sorry if the noise bothers you. If it bothers you too much, I won't use it again. At least not in the videos. But anyways, this is going to be a review for a horror movie that I never actually saw before, but I was able to stream it on Peacock recently, and that film is Magic. This film came out in 1978 and stars Hannibal Lecter himself, Anthony Hopkins, 13 years before he won an Academy Award for his role in my all-time favorite movie. He plays a ventriloquist, and he has a dummy that makes a big impression on people, and he uses it a lot throughout the movie. And from here on, he meets up with an old friend of his, but as things start to progress through the movie, he starts going a little bit mad, and it could be because of the dummy. So yeah, do not go into this movie expecting that the dummy is like possessed. This was 10 years before films like Child's Play ever hit the scene, so yeah, this is not the type of movie where a doll just goes around killing people like films like Child's Play. No, it's actually the man himself that's actually gone quite insane. It's Anthony Hopkins' performance that really stands out throughout this entire film. I was shocked with how good he was in this movie, and he's in the movie a lot, and he's pretty much the only one that I tend to see myself interested about. Because while there are some other characters, there's this woman and her old boyfriend, but really though, as long as Anthony Hopkins stands out in his role, which he does, then I'm all on board for this. I do feel like the movie started off a bit slow at first. Like, I didn't really know what to expect a whole lot of. I thought it was just going to be like a doll murdering people. But it isn't. It's far more different than that, and it's something that I really appreciated and was really intrigued by. What's going on with this dummy. Like, this dummy just causes him to go absolutely insane, and there are often times where he tries to not use the dummy, but he just forces himself to use it. Like, come on, I want to talk some more, please. There are often times where even though he's not holding the doll, he still makes it talk, but the mouth doesn't move. And sometimes there can be parts where it does seem like the doll is doing stuff on its own. Like, sometimes in the movie, in terms of this film being a horror film, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a scary film. It is a suspenseful one, because there are often times where the movie, anything could really happen. Like, anything could happen in the end, like how the whole film wraps up. Like, I was really curious to see. And from the direction, it is really spot on. Like, I was really shocked at how well this movie was made. And while there isn't like a whole lot of death in the film, like, it pretty much lacks a little bit of the horror. But really, it's more suspenseful than it is horror. And it's not necessarily a flat-out slasher film, more of a psychological one. And Anthony Hopkins, when it comes to his roles in horror films, I feel like he's best for psychological than just flat-out, slasher and all that. I will say, though, an hour and 46 minutes is a little too long for this film, as it does tend to drag on quite a bit. But hey, you do see a lot of the dummy, and he is there to be annoying most of the time, but of course at the same time, I didn't really mind it. But really though, throughout this movie, it has you guessing, like thinking to yourself, is it the dummy that's the problem? Or is it Anthony Hopkins' character that's the problem, that's causing all this stuff to go into his head? Though, when he does get the dummy, like when we're introduced to the dummy, it doesn't show him like purchasing the dummy or something like that, and that was something that I was a little confused by. But either way, this was still a really well-made film, and I don't understand why not many people talk about it often. Mainly because when it comes to killer doll films, you think of films like Child's Play, or nowadays you probably think of Mithrigan, or Megan, obviously, but really though, I still recommend giving this one a watch. It might be a slow-moving killer doll-ish film. It's not really a killer doll movie, it's more of a psychological film where a doll does have a lot of purpose in the movie, but throughout the film it focuses more on the man that's starting to go insane, and we think to ourselves,
is he really the problem? But really, this dummy could be the problem as well, just making him go completely insane. So, yeah, it's basically just a regular dummy that is just controlled normally by a person, but of course, this guy completely goes mad, and it's something that I really appreciated. It's a film that I actually recommend giving a watch. It's on Peacock. If you're a fan of Anthony Hopkins or horror movies that involve dolls in them, then I recommend giving this a watch. Don't expect something like Child's Play or anything like that, though. It just has you thinking. It had me thinking throughout a lot of the movie, and by the end of it, I was pretty satisfied with what I'd watched. This is a true horror gem that I hope gets more of the recognition it deserves. I was trying to look at more of my horror collection of other movies that I own because I just don't want to redo horror reviews that I've done already. It's always nice to review something new that I haven't seen before that's been out for a really long time. So I'm going to try doing more of that. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.